It's a hot, sunny afternoon in 2013. Martin Lindsay pulls his sleek Jaguar into a parking spot on Eastcheap, a busy street in the heart of London. He steps out of his car, locking it behind him, and heads off to run some errands. But when he returns just an hour later, something is horribly wrong. His beloved car looked like it had been cooked alive. The body panels had warped, the side mirror melted. People were gathering around, snapping photos, unable to believe what they were seeing. It turns out the real villain of the story was the huge building above him, the 20 Fenchurch Street, better known as the Walkie Talkie.
This is all damaged, this is all warped here, along here, and the handles.
As bizarre as it sounds, this wasn't the first time something like this had happened. In Las Vegas, 3 years earlier, a similar event occurred at the Vdara Hotel, where guests by the pool were burned by what became known
the death ray. Gordon Absher, a spokesman for MGM Resorts, which owns the Vdara, said they're aware of the problem and they're working to fix it. They better hurry before someone ignites.
The Walkie Talkie building that loomed over Martin's car has a curved reflective surface, a parabolic mirror, and that's where the trouble began. In physics, this phenomenon is known as solar convergence. Picture a magnifying glass focusing sunlight onto a small, concentrated point. Now imagine scaling that magnifying glass up to the size of a skyscraper. The curved glass facade of the Walkie Talkie building worked much like that, concentrating sunlight onto a single spot, right where Martin's Jaguar was parked. The result? A hotspot so intense that it heated the air around the car to a staggering 92.6 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt plastic and warp metal. The building's sleek design, meant to be visually striking, accidentally created a powerful beam of heat capable of causing serious damage. Although no one was seriously injured in this case, imagine the potential consequences if a baby had been asleep inside one of the cars parked in the beam's path. In a matter of minutes, the temperature inside the vehicle could have soared to dangerously high levels. What was, for Martin Lindsay, a bizarre and costly inconvenience could have easily become a devastating tragedy. For many Londoners, the Walkie Talkie was just another addition to the city's rapidly growing skyline. But for those who worked or walked near it, the building became an unexpected hazard. A journalist even decided to test the solar ray's power by frying an egg on the pavement. And it worked.
It is so hot. It is so hot. There you go. He has just cooked that egg on a frying pan on the streets of London. If you just look back down there, our cameraman Jim, those tiles have just popped off in the heat. That's how hot it is.
This incident quickly went viral, drawing international attention to what was now being called Walkie Scorchy.
Hello and welcome to the Walkie Talkie building in central London. Or rather, should I say the Walkie Scorchy as it's been nicknamed.
The building, which had once promised to be a symbol of architectural innovation, had instead become a public joke, and a dangerous one at that. At the center of this fiasco was Raffaele Vignoli, the world-renowned architect behind the Walkie Talkie. When asked about the problem, Vignoli admitted something shocking. He already knew this could happen. He revealed that he had witnessed a similar incident at the Vdara Hotel, which he designed, where sunlight was concentrated in such a way that it burned the hair of guests lounging by the pool. Vignoli seemed to have a particular obsession with parabolic, mirror-shaped architectures, a design choice that can look stunning but comes with hidden dangers when the science behind it isn't fully accounted for. Despite knowing about the issue from his Las Vegas project, he carried the same concept over to London, creating the Walkie Talkie building without fully addressing the potential for disaster. In a 2013 interview with The Guardian, Vignoli gave a rather unusual explanation for the solar death ray incident.
When I first came to London years ago, it wasn't like this. Now you have all these sunny days. So you should blame this thing on global warming too, right?
He also shrugged off the situation, suggesting that the tools available at the time weren't sophisticated enough to predict such problems accurately. Yet many experts disagreed, arguing that even back then, architects had access to plenty of software capable of identifying solar convergence issues. After a wave of media coverage and public outrage, the building's developers were forced to act. Engineers scrambled to find a solution. Eventually, they settled on fitting sunshades over the most reflective parts of the building, hoping to scatter the sunlight and diffuse the solar death ray. But by then, the damage had already been done. In the end, while the Walkie Talkie building's design was meant to stand out as a masterpiece of modern architecture, it became infamous for its dangerous and unintentional effect, turning everyday sunny afternoons into something more hazardous than anyone could have predicted.